All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin, and I'm here with Novedge Marketing Manager Aurora Meneghello. Aurora.
Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be back this week.
And together, we both like to welcome you all to our latest Novedge webinar series episode. Okay. So today, we're very honored to have with us Clive Davies who is the Business Development Director at Lightworks. He comes with us with a computer science degree, and he's worked for a number of years in the CAD world before joining Lightworks Artisan in 1996. His activities have always focused on building valuable relationships with Lightworks customers and to help them achieve the best results. Today's webinar presentation will be about Lightworks Artisan for BricsCAD. BricsCAD is for Linux and both Windows as well. The presentation is about 40 minutes long, and afterwards we'll have a brief Q&A session where Clive will answer your questions live. Feel free to submit your questions to us at any time into the chat window, the question box below. But before we get going with the presentation, here's an overview of what we do at Novedge. Now, the Novedge webinar series is brought to you by Novedge.com. As one of the largest online design software stores, we offer a huge assortment of software solutions that cater to virtually every designer's need. If you are interested in purchasing a copy of the Lightworks Artisan for BricsCAD, it is available worldwide from us at Novedge with zero sales tax as a digital download on both Windows and Linux. To learn more about the value-added solution that is Lightworks Artisan, I encourage you to call and speak with our sales specialist, Bob Thayer. You can reach him by his email address, bob@novedge.com. Aurora, I think you have some things to mention.
Yes, I want to invite everybody here to join me and join us, the whole team, on Facebook for our Novedge Facebook page and also on our blog. We post twice a week interviews with artists and innovators and also Q&As sometimes from the webinars that we show online. So check us on Facebook and also on our blog. And then next week, I am really excited to see an Affinia printer at work. 3D printing hobbyist and enthusiast Joe Scott will join us live for an on-air demonstration of Affinia's H479 printer. So if you want to see how easy it is to use Affinia's 3D printer, don't miss this on-air presentation of the best practices for flawless 3D printed product, I should say. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, guys. Thank you, Aurora. I do want to mention that if you have to step out for any reason at all, and hopefully not, this webinar is recorded live. So if you want to check it out again, rewatch it, you could check out our channels on vimeo.com/Novedge as well as youtube.com/Novedge. All right, so give us a moment as we prepare for this. Clive, are you ready?
I'm ready, yes.
All right, I will switch presenters right about now. All right, enjoy, guys.
Okay. Hi, as Kevin said in his very nice introduction of me, my name's Clive Davies and I'm from Lightworks here in the UK, Lightwork Design. We've created Artisan as an end-user rendering product that plugs into a number of different modeling systems, including BricsCAD. So I'm going to be showing you the BricsCAD link tonight, and then from that you'll learn quite a few techniques in Artisan that you can use with the other modeling systems. So I've got a very short presentation just to show you a few of my... Right. So here's a screenshot of BricsCAD. It's a fairly simple model. I'm going to be showing you two models tonight, this espresso machine, and that's a screenshot from BricsCAD, as I said, and I'm going to use Artisan to turn that into a rendered image of the same model. And I'm going to show you very quickly, I think, how easy it is to use the simple commands in Artisan to get that image. And then I've got a second model, which is extremely simple, as you can see, and I've just got simple wireframe versions of it here. This is BricsCAD showing a house model. You can see through it. There's very little in this apart from a pool area and a little bit of furniture in one of the rooms. And then I'm going to be showing you how to turn that into this rendered image, which I think is coming up on your screen now. So this is I'm sort of simulating the the idea that a client wants to see what the pool area will look like on a sunny day. So there we have some images. I can change the lighting setup in Artisan to show different lighting effects, and even an evening shot, which is there, which shows you the lighting elements come on in the room. If I just go back to the BricsCAD view there for a moment, you can actually see some BricsCAD symbols here, some blocks which are actually lighting elements. So we place some lighting elements in the rooms, and you'll see it light up. So back through that. So the webinar contents tonight are a live demonstration. I'm just going to be showing you Artisan running. This is the end of the PowerPoint section, you'll be pleased to hear. It's a live demonstration of Artisan. It's a rendering add-on to BricsCAD. I just wanted to stress that it's not a standalone system. You can't buy Artisan and load files in. It's actually a plug-in. It's an add-on to the BricsCAD system. It has a direct connection to the model, and you'll be seeing that in the demonstrations I run. There's no file transfer. The model is taken across directly when you launch Artisan. And it's designed to be extremely easy to use. Now I know everyone says their products are easy to use. Why wouldn't they be? But Artisan has been designed to be extremely easy to use. It's designed so that you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to become a rendering guru. You can use the simple controls and produce photorealistic images. It achieves that because most of the system is drag and drop. As you'll be seeing in the demonstration, that I drag and drop materials and lighting setups. I can make dramatic changes with very small interaction with the system. Now it's a very interactive system. I will say that over and over again, but you'll be seeing some OpenGL movements and drag and drop, and I'll be looking to see that the GoToMeeting keeps up with you. It's a little bit slow sometimes, and it might appear jerky, but I'll be telling you when that's happening. There's a wide range of out-of-the-box materials. When you buy Artisan, we give you a full set of materials, and you'll see those in the demonstration. And then we have even more from our website. We have a website, Lightworks Artisan, and week by week we're adding new content onto that site, free content which you can download and add to your installation. You can create your own materials also, of course, and people will be doing that, but we sort of back that up with a whole load of new materials of our own. So with that, I'll get into the demo. That's the end of the presentation. As such, the PowerPoint side of the presentation, and these are the two models I'm going to be showing, the BricsCAD model and the Artisan model. So let's just close that PowerPoint down. Just close that down. So this is BricsCAD running. I'm not going to be spending a lot of time in BricsCAD. I'm just going to be loading the model basically and then launching Artisan and showing you how to render it. This is an espresso machine. I can rotate it and so on. Now I'm only showing a wireframe view there, and I know BricsCAD is capable of producing OpenGL renders and different render modes and a much better view than the one there, but I'm just trying to keep it as simple as I can for the purposes of this presentation. The Artisan system is launched with these. I'll point to the icons here. These icons have been added to BricsCAD at installation time, and this is where you actually launch Artisan from. As you can see, I can launch Artisan, I can edit lights and so on and change settings. So I'll launch Artisan, press this button, and the geometry and the scene, in fact, the materials and so on, are passed across into the Artisan system, and we launch our product. Okay, the first thing I want you to notice is that both systems are still running. This is still BricsCAD in the background here, and Artisan is running over the top. So I have the possibility of making changes to the geometry anytime I want to, and synchronizing, and I'll be showing you a little of that if we get some time later on. So just a little walk around the interface for you. Here we have a whole set of navigation controls, rotation and pan and zoom and so on. And if I rotate the model, this is the first indication you'll get of the jerky movement. That's moving quite smoothly on my screen, and I'm aware looking at a monitor that's actually jerking a little on yours. If you download the evaluation, you can download the evaluation version from the Novedge store or the BricsCAD store, in fact, and you'll be able to run these simple demonstrations and see it moving for yourself. So that's the navigation controls. Across the top of the screen here, we have the major sections of things that you can do with the model. Materials, lighting, changing the background, changing camera settings. I'll talk about snapshots in a moment, the fifth of those. Let's just have a look at materials. When I select materials, I get on the right-hand side of the screen the various out-of-the-box materials which we gift you. There are a whole set of architectural materials. I can scroll down through some of those. I'm scrolling the window at the bottom there. Architectural interior materials, woods and so on. And various materials, plastics, metals and glass, and a full set of materials that you can use. Let's just play with some plastics, just start to dress this, this model. And all I'm going to do is just simply drop some plastic, a red shiny plastic, a glossy plastic, onto the model. I drag and I drop, and as I say, it's having a little bit of trouble keeping up with me on the net connection, but there you can see the materials being dropped on. There's a couple of ways of doing this. I can actually use a little eyedropper here. I can copy and paste and so on, but I'm just keeping it nice and simple from now on. Let me rotate, put a little on top of there. And I think round the back also. Let me put some in there. Okay, now I've actually dressed the model with some materials. Let's put some metals on here. Let's drop some chrome plate on here so we can see something a bit shinier. And on here. Where else on this tray? So you can see that what we're getting is quite an attractive display of the model already. We're getting an OpenGL simulation of some lighting. There's a default lighting studio in there that's showing me some lights reflecting, and I'm getting some reflection of the metal tray. It's looking pretty good. I'll just do a little bit more work. I'll drop some more materials on. So some chrome in there. A little bit of black plastic, I think, on. Let's put some on the handle. Some of that little knob there. On these feet. Maybe a little chrome on that part there. So I'll just drop that onto there. Let me zoom in a little to do a bit of work on the face here. And I can go on doing this. Let's drop a little bit around that dial. So I can drop, I can turn, I can select materials and so on. I'm getting, as you've noticed, a drop shadow here. This is there isn't a plane underneath this. It's a simulation of shadow just to make the object look a bit more three-dimensional and have it sitting on a plane. So the lighting, let's have a little look at lighting now. The way the lighting works is I've got a whole set of different lighting setups delivered with the system. This is what you get when out of the box. These lighting studio lights are actually HDRI files. They are high dynamic range images which provide light to the scene. If I drop one of these into the scene, it's just catching up with me, I think. There we are. I can change the lighting effect completely. I can actually drop some interior lights in there, so let's drop this interior lobby in here. So what I've actually got here now is a sorry, just let it catch up. So I've actually got a three-dimensional, what appears to be a three-dimensional photograph. It's a 360-degree photograph of a lobby with a plane underneath, which is actually providing the light and the reflections to the scene, if you're familiar with that technology. So the OpenGL simulation of the lighting here is fairly good. If I render it, this button here on the navigation bar, a little symbol here I'm pointing at, if I actually render that, I'm now doing a software render of that scene. So what's changed in that, you may ask? Let's just move it around a little. So let's take a look at this tray here. If I render, I'm actually getting reflections now of the rest of the model in the part. Okay, so that's a ray trace render. It's a globally illuminated ray trace render, to use all the technical terms. You haven't seen any of those yet, at all, rather, in the system, but I'm just describing what's happening. We're getting a rendered image of that display. I can change the background. Let's just have a look at those for a moment. The backgrounds are, as you might think, they are simply allows me to change the background, and you can see that the lighting effect has been kept. So I've actually still got an interior lighting display there. I'm getting reflections of the HDRI lighting file, but now I'm getting a nice white crisp background. Okay, and I can change the background obviously for any of these simply by dragging and dropping in. Again, just letting it catch up there. Okay, I also have some images. Let's just have a small object. So let's just drop it into, say, this scene here. I'm just kind of eyeballing this into the shot, really, and producing what I want to be my final image. As I've said, this is happening on my main screen. This is happening as fast as I'm moving the thing around. It's actually sort of very responsive, but it's just taking a moment to catch up on the line. Camera angle isn't quite as I wanted, so here I have a whole set of camera lenses effectively. So let me just drop a 50mm lens on there, and that's giving me a perspective view which matches with the scene behind, I think. And I'm happy with that. That's a kind of a finished image. I'll render it, and I'm fairly happy with that image. This icon here, so it's rendering, as you can see. Sorry, I've just let it finish rendering there. It takes about 15 seconds to produce a rendered image of that model. This icon here allows me to create a snapshot, and if I hit that, it takes a snapshot of that, and here's the snapshot here on the end of the, you can see I've already got some set up, but this one on the end here is the one I've just created, and it looks like a little image. It is an image of the scene. It is actually a parcel of all the commands that I've executed so far in the scene. So it's all of the materials, all of the lighting, the background, the camera controls, and everything, and it's all in that scene. So if I drop another one of these snapshots I created earlier, let's just drop that into the scene. It's more than an image. I'm actually back at the point I was at when I actually created that snapshot. Okay, so let's go back to this one here. And update to that scene there, and I can carry on moving. Now, this is an incredibly powerful feature. There's no limit to the number of snapshots I can create. The snapshots, as I said, can create all of the settings that I've changed, and I can actually build up a whole set of quite creative ideas. I can use it as a sketchbook, really, to try and try out different materials, try out different textures, try out different backgrounds, and actually present them to my my client or to the rest of the design team. I can say, here's some ideas that I've had, and use it in that way. So this is the model that I used in the image that was in the presentation. So let's just have a look at some backgrounds. I think it's a custom background. So this is one of the background archives that's been downloaded from the website, the ones that we provide free of charge. So let me just drop that one into there. Probably that one might be a bit nicer. Let's drop that one in. Okay, move that back into the scene slightly, and there I have my, let's turn it around this way slightly different view. Render the image, and there I've got my image for my presentation. Okay, so it's extremely easy to create that image. I haven't done anything particularly special. I've just dropped materials and a couple of lights in, changed the camera angle, created some snapshots. So it's I haven't done anything which wouldn't take more than a few minutes to learn. Let me just show you, if I can, how this link to the modeler works. Let's go to a simpler snapshot, this one. Now if I run the model, let's assume I want to see what the model looks like without this cup rail on here. I've actually got a layer with this cup rail on, so I can switch that layer off. Let's just switch the cup rail off for a second. So that's gone off. I'm now experimenting with the design, pretending to experiment. I use this button here to synchronize. So I haven't yet saved the file at all. I certainly haven't loaded it again. The model is transferred. It loads Artisan for me. Sorry, Artisan's already loaded. It loads the model into Artisan and renders the model with that cup rail removed. Okay, so I could do, I've just done that as a very simple modeling operation. I could have made more dramatic changes. But that just shows you that there's a sort of a link between the model and the renderer, which means that you don't have to create different files with different combinations and configurations and so on. And the really clever thing is that if I drop the snapshots in, maybe the one I just created, on the desktop. So there's the model now rendered exactly as I had it, with the materials, the lighting, the background, the camera, but now without the cup rail. So I can experiment and produce these renders extremely quickly. So I can have any number of snapshots. As I said, I can use the drag facility to say I want those three and I want to render those snapshots, and here comes a dialog which allows me to render those snapshots with the new model. So very powerful. And what we actually allow you to do to show a little bit more of the BricsCAD system, in the layout side of the of BricsCAD, I've actually pasted a few of links to the models there. So this is actually now completely in BricsCAD. I've got the model and I've got the layout sheet with some images, and I can produce rendered images of this model at any stage and actually deliver them to my customer as images like that. Okay, so that's shown you most of what happens in Artisan. And obviously there's a lot more things going on. You've seen some controls here for changing render settings and so on. You can change the quality of the lighting. I'm just really giving you a very quick introduction to the drag and drop nature and how easy it is to create these images. So I'm going to close that down now, and I want to open the other model so I can show you some more functions. The other model is, as you saw, is a house, a small building, and it's extremely simple. As I said when I ran the PowerPoint, there's very little to this. It's a few blocks, There's a little bit of furniture in there, and there's some lighting elements scattered around. Now the lighting elements are blocks. They are blocks which are delivered by us. You can get blocks from anywhere, of course, but these blocks have Lightworks lighting attributes attached to them. So there's something slightly different, but we give them away on the website. You can actually download all of these blocks and use them in your BricsCAD model and actually light the scene in Artisan. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the coffee pot, the coffee maker. I'm going to go into Artisan with this model. Now, I skipped over this when I first went through. This distinction between a product and architectural is just determines the lighting setups that you get. With a building, you get some different lighting setups than you do with a product. That's the only difference there. So I'm going to select architectural here, and it will load the model in its kind of very basic form. I've actually moved the view to get into the pool area because this is the area that I'm interested in. And I'm in exactly the same place as I was when I first came into the coffee maker. I can walk around this. I won't walk too far. I'll just walk around a little bit. I can change the view. Getting quite a nice view in OpenGL there. I'm actually getting some shadowing. The card in this machine is capable of doing some what's called ambient occlusion. It's showing me a little bit of modeling there. So I can do the same things that I was doing with the coffee pot. Let's drop a little bit of glass on there. Okay, so I can go around changing the building. Let's just drop some bricks on, let's say. Okay. So there's some bricks going onto the model. I can go around and do exactly the same as I did with the coffee pot. I can change things. I can keep snapshots, which are a nice way of, particularly with a building that are experimenting with different materials. I have some snapshots set up just to speed things up for this presentation. So let's drop one of these in. Okay, so it's you can see I've assigned some materials to the furniture in there and put some tiles in the pool and so on, made the plant green. I have a lighting setup for this, which is let's have a look at those settings before I render it. So you can see the lighting setups here are slightly different. They're in normal terms. It's in daylight sunny is one, daylight hazy, daylight cloudy. They're in terms that you might recognize. So I can drop a sunny scheme into here. It changes the lighting to match that scheme. So let's render that. Okay, so you can see the progress bar at the bottom of the screen. What we do exactly as with the coffee machine, it's doing what we call a progressive render. It's actually rendering at what looks like a lower resolution to start with, and then passing through using information from that render and gradually building up the screen. My computer's overloaded. So that's rendering the scene now. The nice thing about the progressive render is that it gives you a very good indication of what the lighting levels are quickly. You don't have to wait for the whole render to appear. The render is going to get better and better, the resolution is going to get better, but the lighting levels are going to stay the same. My machine seems to be getting a little bit overloaded here, so there's that image. Now the lights are on inside that room. Let's just bring up the lighting dialog. The lights are actually on. You can see from this dialog it says use artificial lighting. You can see the little bit of lighting effect there inside the room. It's a sunny day, of course, so you won't see much. Let's make it a little bit. Let's get a different snapshot and make it a somewhat later in the day. So this is sort of sunset now, so let me render this. So these are taking about 20 seconds or so to render. Okay, so you can now see the effect of the lighting in the room. Let's just pause that and drop the lighting setup. So these are 3 snapshots which I've saved, and the only difference between them is actually the lighting setup. I could have changed the materials. As you can see in these snapshots down here, I have got snapshots with different materials in. This is a lighting. This is now a moonlit shot with the lights on in the room, and as you can see, we're getting the full lighting effect. We've actually dropped some point lights into the pool, so you can see the kind of pool effect there. The pool water is a material that's given to you in the out-of-the-box materials. It's a material to make water. I'm getting I can see on my monitor, I'm getting a very strange effect there. It's I don't know why it's happening on that. It's something to do with the GoToMeeting, but it's clearing the screen before the final render. I'm not exactly sure why that is. Now, just to show you one more feature, these are all snapshots here, exactly as with the coffee pot. If I double click on these, the render that has been saved is actually displayed for me. So it becomes a very nice presentation tool. Okay, so if I double click on the snapshot, that's the rendered image that goes with that snapshot. Okay, so maybe in a client presentation you don't necessarily have time to do renders of each of the models, but if I double click through these, I can actually see the rendered image. And here you can see some with I'm just playing with different material effects here, so drop some bricks onto that side wall. The one at the end here is shows some brick effects and shows a very nice effect on the bricks. The materials that we have are actually made up of different layers. Effectively, we have a bump effect there, which you can see on the bricks. And I picked one of the out-of-the-box woods, and just to show my client what wooden steps might look like in the pool area. Okay, so everything else is the same. It's exactly the same. The only difference between products and architectural, as I said, is you have different lighting studios, but in terms of the backgrounds and the materials, you have the full set available in both systems. So let's just go back to that shot. Just catching up with me. I think there it is there. So that's turned what was obviously a very quick model in BricsCAD to create, simple kind of spaces, has turned into quite a nice model that you can present to a client, or an architect could present to a client and show him what the pool area will look like. Okay, so that's about it for my presentation tonight in the UK. Anyway, so if there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer questions that Kevin can put to me. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, here we go, Clive. I have a question from Roland. He says, mahalo, nice stuff. Can you show how to manipulate and move lights in the wireframe, please? Thanks, Roland.
I can, not well, I must say, because I'm not a BricsCAD expert, but I'm in BricsCAD now, so I'm using the normal movement commands, which if I pick this thing here, then I can use the move there to actually sort of move this light around here. Okay, so I'm moving the block. I'm just doing a three-dimensional move in the BricsCAD system there. Not well, I'm afraid, because I'm not a BricsCAD expert, but kind of. Okay, so let's just move that somewhere else in the room. So like that. That's they are three-dimensional blocks which have been added just as if they're pieces of furniture, but they are blocks which have Lightworks attributes attached to them.
Cool. Okay, I have another question here. It looks like it's pretty hardware intensive. Somebody's curious about the computer that you're using to run Lightworks Artisan, and what kind of recommendations do you guys have?
Yeah, I'm using a MacBook Pro laptop. I'm running in Windows, and it's a newish machine, but it's nothing particularly special. I'm not using any graphics cards here. I'm using the CPU. It's a 4-processor machine, and as you'll have seen when it renders, it's actually the rendering is using the 4 processors. So whatever processor you've got in your machine, the Lightworks Artisan will use them. We recommend. We don't have a minimum recommendation, but you know it's not going to run on the simplest of machines. It requires a little bit of CPU effort, but it gets there anyway. I mean, that's the interesting thing about rendering the snapshots. Obviously, it's doing it fairly quickly on my machine, but it will render them. So it's just you know, the most powerful machine you've got, really.
Okay, cool. And you also mentioned briefly about the community and how you have ongoing assets that you are freely distributing on your website. Could you give us a preview or what's actually part of the website, your community?
Yes, we have. In fact, it's the community button, the Lightworks website. I don't know if it's actually enabled on this setup I've got here for this presentation, but this button here next to the snapshot button launches the Artisan website, and oh yeah, it's going to do it. And on the website we have downloads. So if you just wait a second while it catches up with me, we have downloads. We have galleries, a user forum. So we also have we have people talking on the forum and asking and answering questions and so on. And then regular downloads here. I think every 2 weeks at the moment we're putting new downloads on here. So we just have, as you can see, there's some decking on up there. And there's some more download archives there. So you can download directly from the website. You have to register. Like I said, they're free, but you register to say who you are. And then you can download from here, and you import them into the Artisan session. So it's a very kind of it's a very quick access to more and more materials, and we hope that people will start to create materials and share them amongst themselves. And we're seeding that at the moment. We're creating all of the materials for that. But as I said, they are extremely easy to create. You create them using Artisan, so it's very easy.
Well, I think this might be covered already, but here's a question about whether or not it works with FormZ and Revit as well. I'm guessing no?
It's no. It's no at the moment. It's we run with about 6 or 7 systems at the moment. We're running with one of the ZW soft systems, ZW3D. We run with SketchUp. Sorry, just turn that off. We run with SketchUp. We do have a few systems released, Artisan systems, which have been renamed. The Artisan in the SketchUp world is actually named Renditioner, which some of the delegates, the viewers might know. So the Renditioner system is effectively a rebadged Artisan, and that's sold by IMSI in California. They're actually based in Novato. So we have, I think we have 3 called Artisan, and then we have 3 or 4 others which are named different systems. One with a Ukrainian system called Render Boost with Live Interior 3D. But no, we're not with Revit or FormZ. We actually, with Form Z, as perhaps the questioner knows, the Lightwork Design company, we have our rendering engine product, which is part of Render Zone with Form Z, but we don't currently have an Artisan version for them.
Gotcha. Okay. One last question. This is about Linux because it was briefly mentioned that Lightworks Artisan works with BricsCAD for Linux as well. Is there any discrepancies that users might have to be aware of?
We haven't launched a version for Linux yet. I know BricsCAD works for Linux and maybe even Mac in the future. The Lightworks software runs on Linux, Mac, and Unix even, and PC or Windows. Artisan at the moment is released for Windows and Mac. As you can see, the interface, maybe not as you can see, but the interface has been built with the Qt interface design product. So it is portable. It's just that we haven't released it for Linux yet. We're really waiting to see the sort of demand from the user community, the existing user community, about which systems they want. And I'd just say a word there about translations also. We've translated into, the whole interface is translated into 10 different languages, including English. BricsCAD support 19, and we're committed to supporting all of those languages for all of the areas of the world that they're selling the system.
Cool. All right. That pretty much sums up the Q&A session. Clive, I'll go ahead and switch back to me as a presenter. Gotcha.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Cool. Thank you. Show my screen. All right. Let me know if you guys can see my screen here. I should have the slides up. Cool. Awesome. Well, first of all, from the Novedge team, I want to thank you guys for attending. I want to thank Clive for joining us oceans away from the UK here to present and demonstrate Lightworks Artisan's real-time rendering capabilities for BricsCAD. As the marketing associate here, I'm really happy that you guys are joining us, that you're joining us as well. Now, if you guys are interested in purchasing a copy of Lightworks Artisan for BricsCAD, I encourage you guys to check out our website. We offer a huge assortment at Novedge.com of software solutions that cater to virtually every designer's need. If you're interested in getting a copy of this cool plugin for BricsCAD, it is available from us worldwide at Novedge with 0 sales tax as a digital download on both Windows and Linux. But Linux isn't out yet, right? Or
No, that's right. Yeah, not out yet.
Cool. So yeah, stay tuned. If you want to learn more about this value-added solution, I encourage you to call and speak with our sales specialist, Bob, there. You can reach him by his email address, bob@novedge.com. Yeah, and by the way, as any company should, we have a Facebook page. You can find us at facebook.com/Novedge. When this webinar is done converting, we'll be sure to share the links on from our channels there on Facebook as well. And also we have a blog at blog.novedge.com. Every week we have at least 2 interviews with exciting hobbyists, designers, and innovators. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely head over there. Next week we have a very exciting webinar that's coming up. This is going to be with Joe Scott. He's a hobbyist, an enthusiast, and it's going to be exciting because we're going to do a live webcam demonstration where Joe is going to show us all the best methods, best practices for creating flawless 3D prints. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely head to novedge.com/webinar/76. And I do want to mention that if you guys have any questions, comments, if you guys want to ask something about Lightworks Artisan, feel free to forward me at Kevin@Novedge.com a question, as well as Bob@Novedge.com, and we'll be sure to get back to Clive, and yeah, we'll make that connection for you guys. So if you missed something, as a reminder, you can find it at the end of today, the fully converted webinar video at vimeo.com/Novedge and youtube.com/Novedge. So check it out over there, like and subscribe. On behalf of the Novedge team, I want to thank you all for joining us today. Clive, really appreciate you coming out, staying up late. I think it's like 8 p.m. right now, right?
Yeah, not too late yet. Actually,
Yeah.
The sun's coming out. It's getting better.
Awesome, awesome, cool. Aurora, do you have any last words? Or Clive, do you have any last words?
I just want to thank you both for a great webinar. This is really awesome. Thank you.
All right. Okay. In that case, thank you all for joining us. Have a good one. Cheers.